YouTube, what's good, dude? It's your boy said that today we have the terrifying story of Lauren Wallen. I haven't watched one of these in a minute, so back on it. But this is going on my second channel until I get my account back. So yeah, subscribe to yeah, let's get this shit to 100, bro. 100 subs. But yeah, let's get into it. Almost to 10,000 on Instagram. Say Daddy YT. Let's get into it, man.
Out for a Sunday adventure, as her boyfriend Tyler Tessier called it. The Maryland countryside is breathtaking. Laura Wallen is out for a Sunday adventure, as her boyfriend Tyler Tessier called it. The Maryland countryside is breathtaking with rolling hills, lush fields, and vibrant green trees. Tyler eventually pulls off the road, stops the vehicle, and gets out to make a phone call. Laura is so excited. They have a baby on the way. Was Tyler finally going to ask her to marry him? Was that the reason they were in this huge open field? She sends a text to her sister, Jennifer Coddy. Her sister wants to see, so Laura takes a picture of the landscape and sends it to her sister's phone. It really was a beautiful place. The reason why they were there would be revealed very soon.
What the fuck?
Before we begin, we would like to send our deepest sympathies to the loved ones of Laura Wallen and baby Reed Wallen, who fell victim to the abominable acts described in this case.
This nigga a hoe, bro.
Laura Wallen was a 31-year-old teacher of social studies at Wild Lake High School in Columbia, Maryland. She loved her job and her students. She had even been named Teacher of the Year in 2016. The new school year was about to start, and Laura had been so excited about it. She'd even decorated her classroom for the upcoming first day. So, on September the 5th, 2017, it made no sense for her not to show up for the first day of school. When the school called her family and told them that she hadn't shown up for work, they knew that this wasn't like Laura, and they grew concerned. The family called local police and requested a welfare check on their daughter at her home address in Olney, Maryland. When police arrived, nothing seemed out of the ordinary, except that Laura and her vehicle were gone. The report back from the police did not ease the family's concerns over their daughter's disappearance, especially since Laura was 4 months pregnant. The police reached out to Laura's boyfriend, Tyler Tessier, but he told them that he didn't know where she could be. Over 10 years of being in and out of a relationship was how it was with Tyler and Laura Wallen. Certainly a bumpy road for the couple, but they would break up and get back together time and time again. Tessier himself threw a wicked twist into the story eventually. He took on another girlfriend, a teacher like Laura. They even moved in together in 2012. Her name was Christina Wagner, all the while maintaining his relationship with Laura. He maintained them both because he lied about both. He would tell Laura that Christina was a nutty, obsessed female stalker, that they should just leave her alone due to her instability. And then Tessier would say the same thing about Laura to Christina. He'd even told Christina that Laura was schizophrenic. None of it was the truth. Just lie upon lie to cover up the truth of how messed up Tessier
found out
she
was pregnant.
In July of 2017, Laura found out she was pregnant. She told her family about the pregnancy and admitted that it was Tessier's baby. Ever the gentleman and concerned father of Laura, Mark Wallen, met Tessier at the mall and posed a simple question to him. What do you intend to do? I love her and we're going to get married, Tessier told him as he revealed an engagement ring. Mark Wallen, of course, questioned Tessier about the other female in his life. He told Tessier that he had heard rumors of the other woman. Without batting an eye, he told Mark that he hadn't seen the other woman in a couple of years. Yet, that night, Tessier went back to the apartment he was sharing with Christina. Using the very same ring he had shown to Mark, he proposed to her. A wedding would be underway, a wedding that would allegedly happen just a month after Laura was due to give birth. As July turned to August, Laura was preparing for the new baby and getting things ready for the beginning of the school year. But there was one thing that had put a dark spot on her happiness. Laura knew about the other woman. She'd even met her once, but when Laura discovered that Tessier was engaged to this woman while in a relationship with her, she wanted some answers. So, on August the 28th, 2017, Laura sent a text message to the other woman. She wanted an explanation. The other woman, Christina Wagner, was furious and texted Tessier about Laura contacting her. His response back: Christina wanted to speak to the police about what could be done to Laura. They went down to the police department and spoke to an officer. He told them both that...
She said literally, I can literally kill her. Like, niggas like that, like, bruh, gotta watch.
That they could take out stalking charges and get a protective order, but that all parties would have to be present in front of a judge and under oath. Tessier wanted none of that, so it was let go. On Labor Day weekend, Christina and Tessier were supposed to go out of town to Pennsylvania and do some shopping for bridesmaids' dresses, but Tessier faked a knee injury and Christina went on her own. Laura's family had made plans to go away for a holiday weekend, but Tessier told Laura that he had made plans for just the two of them, and she chose instead to spend her time with Tessier. Saturday rolled around and Tessier took her for dinner and then showed her different pieces of property. He told her he wanted to find a good piece of land to build a new house just for the two of them and the new baby that was on the way. They'd driven around so much that Laura didn't really even know where they were. So when Tessier pulled over on a particular piece of land and got out of the vehicle to make a phone call, Laura took the opportunity to text her sister Jen. When Tessier realized that Laura was texting her sister, he quickly took a picture of Laura with his phone and sent it along in a text to Jen. Unfortunately, it would be the last picture of her sister's sweet smiling face that she would see.
Hold on, what the
Laura
hell did he
didn't
do?
really even know where they were, then showed her different pieces of property. He told her he wanted to find a good piece of land to build a new house just for the two of them and the new baby that was on the way. They'd driven around so much that Laura didn't really even know where they were. So when Tessier pulled over on a particular piece of land and got out of the vehicle to make a phone call, Laura took the opportunity to text her sister Jen. When Tessier realized that Laura was texting her sister, he quickly took a picture of Laura with his phone and sent it along in a text to Jen. Unfortunately, it would be the last picture of her sister's
You think what her
sweet
sister
smiling
said? Say, yeah, she's in the field by herself in the rain pregnant, so yeah, I'm wondering what's up. Wow.
Tessier realized that Laura was texting her sister, he quickly took a picture of Laura with his phone and sent it along in a text to Jen. Unfortunately, it would be the last picture of her sister's sweet smiling face that she would see. On Sunday, Jen and Laura texted briefly. Laura told her sister that they were still on the adventure, no engagement though, and she wasn't feeling well that day. Early Monday, the text changed between Jen and Laura. Jen grew concerned about her sister and told her to call. They had always talked to each other about anything, but Laura kept texting instead of calling. Laura would never talk about something like this through text, and the name of the ex-boyfriend was misspelled as Atwan, when it should have been spelled Antoine. And Laura hadn't seen her ex in 2 years. It was then that Jen knew something wasn't right.
Her classroom was all set up for the start of the new school year.
Bro.
But on the first day, Laura Wallen never showed.
She was absent. Again, very unusual. I'm very committed to her job.
Wallen teaches social studies at Wild Lake High School. In 2016, she was awarded Teacher of the Year. On Monday, the day before the school year was set to begin, she reportedly sent a distressing text message to her family.
It is troubling that the family was alarmed enough to call the police department and get detectives to start investigating where she may be. So it was alarming enough that the family said, we need to call police.
On Monday, September the 4th, when the family got back to Olney, Maryland, and her father
W
went
family
to
on that.
Laura's home, where they found candles burning and Laura's dog inside, but no one was home. Laura's father sent her a text saying that she was upsetting them by being so evasive and that she needed to call, but Laura never called her father.
The missing teacher's father and sister did the same. They say she was 4 months pregnant. Pictures of her sonogram are posted on a refrigerator.
Totally torn our world apart. It's like a TV drama that you wish you could shut off, but you can't.
The Wallen Lake teacher's sister may have been one of the last people to make contact with her before she disappeared.
I spoke with her on Saturday, just through text message, and then briefly on Sunday, and then I had one text message in the morning on Monday.
They even made contact with Tessier, asking him if he knew where Laura was. He said that he had dropped Laura off after their date. She had become angry and hysterically crying, telling him that she wanted her door key back and for him to leave. Then he told them that they were supposed to meet at the Nordstrom Cafe in the Columbia Mall the next morning, but she never showed up. Tessier said that he had gone back to Laura's to see why she hadn't come to the cafe as they agreed, but couldn't get in because he had returned his key. September the 5th would have been the first day of the new school year for Laura. She had worked for weeks on her lesson plans for the coming year. Laura was very devoted to her work and her students, so when she didn't show up for work that morning, everyone knew something wasn't right.
And when they started investigating, Wallen was not at her home in Olney.
We've never had any instances that's and I've been here for like 11 years.
Joyce Robinson lives near Wallen. She didn't know her personally, but is thinking about her and her family.
I'm going to be praying for her. I hope she's okay.
A search was initiated of the neighborhood where Laura lived, and it was canvassed by police officers. They spoke to one neighbor who told them they had seen Tessier walking Laura's dog on September the 4th around 2:30 in the afternoon. Laura's 2011 black Ford Escape was also missing, so an alert was put out on that vehicle to all law enforcement officers. Volunteers came together to hand out a missing persons
I'd be so locked in on I don't even know what to say. Like, fuck, these niggas is crazy.
flyers and to put up posters of Laura along with information about her. Appeals to the public for help in finding Laura were going out, and vigils were being planned.
Have you heard about the missing school teacher?
A community effort to help find a beloved teacher.
Let them know we feeling this just as much as them, bro.
Saquon Maxwell says he had Laura Wallen as a teacher, but says she's much more than that to so many people.
She's always willing to put her students first, so I know if one of us was in this situation, she would have been head on attacking it and in the streets just like we are.
He says he organized a meeting at Wild Lake High School where Wallen teaches on Saturday. A group of about 20 met up, got a stack of flyers, and hit the streets in Columbia.
My heart goes out to her wherever she is.
I feel like I'm doing something. I feel like I'm helping to find her. I feel like the more people that know what's going on, the faster we can find her.
A small group then went to Olney,
What I gonna do first?
where their former teacher lives. They went door to door, talking to neighbors and giving hugs into the evening.
She had a spot and she can't be on the classroom.
Spreading a message that Maxwell says
Damn,
is
bro.
too close to home.
The school needs her. We miss her. We need the loving and the smile and the care.
The group tells me they're not going to stop passing
This
out
man is a
these
lame,
flyers
bro.
and working to spread the word until she's found. In Olney, Amy O'Bear, ABC 7 News.
Mark and Gwen Wallen offered a reward to anyone
he's trying to
who
juggle
might have
two
information
relationships.
about their daughter's disappearance.
We miss her and we love her, and it's one of the hardest things a father can do is have your child taken away way too soon, and all we want is for her to come back to us.
On Thursday, September the 7th, an employee from an apartment complex called Gramercy Place in Columbia, Maryland, called police to advise them that she had found a driver's license in a dumpster and the name on it was Laura Wallen. The employee also found a discarded cell phone near the license. Police responded and also found Laura's 2011 black Ford Escape backed into a parking space there with the front license plate missing. The Ford Escape was located less than a mile from the Wild Lake High School where Laura taught. Investigators would process the vehicle looking for any evidence that may have been left behind, a fingerprint, a hair, blood, or even a gum wrapper. anything that could give them a lead as to what had happened to Laura. They would also process her home, go through her computer, interview friends and family, look through surveillance video, and talk to anyone that lived where the vehicle had been located, hoping that someone may have seen something that would help locate Laura. Police also found that the last transaction on her debit card occurred at a grocery store called Safeway in Olney. It was on September 2nd between 8:30 and 9:30 p.m. They gathered surveillance footage from the store. She wasn't alone. Tessier was with her. Laura would be listed as a missing person for 9 days. She was 4 months pregnant. Detectives interviewed Tessier several times between September the 5th and the 11th. She wasn't alone. At 9:30 p.m. in Olney. It was on September 2nd between 8:30 and 9:30 p.m. They gathered surveillance footage from the store. She wasn't alone. Tessier was with her. Laura would be listed as a missing person for 9 days. She was 4 months pregnant. Detectives interviewed Tessier several times between September the 5th and the 11th. With each interview, Tessier gave conflicting information concerning Laura's disappearance. One story was that several men had kidnapped the two of them, killing her but sparing him because he begged for his life. Another story was that the two of them had been getting into an argument. Tessier said Laura demanded her key back, which he returned at 8:30 a.m. that Monday morning. He told detectives that she'd been very upset, and he told her they needed to talk when she had calmed down. He said he told her they could meet at a cafe in the mall. When she hadn't shown up, Tessier said he went back to Laura's to see why she wasn't there, but no one was home. Yet a neighbor allegedly saw Tessier walking Laura's dog around 2:30 in the afternoon. A completely different story, Tessier said that he had taken Laura's Ford Escape to the Gramercy Apartments and had gotten rid of the front tag and her cell phone. This was alleged by Tessier to buy more time for Laura because she had said the father of the baby was not him. It was someone else, and she needed to figure out what to do. She needed to escape and think. Detectives knew through cell phone records that Tessier had been in that area since Laura's disappearance. They knew that Tessier had spent a good bit of time at the meat processing plant that's also located on the farm property. The owner was a close friend, and Tessier stayed there off and on. The next several days were a roller coaster ride of emotions for the family of Laura Wallen. Her family knew this was something uncharacteristic of Laura. She wouldn't just disappear without telling them something. Plus, she was very dedicated to her students and was looking forward to the new school year. Each day that passed, the collective concern grew for Laura and her unborn child. September the 11th was a turning point in the case of Laura Wallen, something the public was not privy to in the case of Laura Wallen, especially Tessier.
Just talking to this bitch-ass nigga, bro.
The police investigators, along with Laura's parents, Mark and Gwen, came together for a news conference. What Tessier didn't know was that the press conference had been staged specifically to see if he would give himself away. Police already believed that Tessier had a hand in the disappearance of Laura. Her parents bravely sat beside the man who could have harmed their daughter, even going so far as to hold his hand.
Oh my Lord.
You put the suspect in front of a camera because he's going to talk, and he may inadvertently say something or present something in a way that you know is not true.
Thank you all for coming here. Laura, if you're listening, doesn't matter what's happened, doesn't matter what type of trouble, there's nothing we can't fix together. Myself and your family. There's so many people that miss you. There's so many people that were out. We haven't slept.
I'm trying to finesse your big ass.
We're just looking.
Your hungry ass.
Praying that you're safe. And I'm asking you to just let us know that you're safe. If somebody has her, please understand that you've taken away a huge huge person in so many people's lives. Friends and family, students that she has. I know what she means to me. I know what she means to everybody else. We just want to know she's okay. We just want her back. Super excited for start of the school year. I know she had talked to her principal and her teachers, like her coworkers, about her being pregnant and how excited she was. And
you can saying wasn't you already? You know what's up.
it's just a complete shock that I mean, I think leading up to the weekend that she's missing, I mean, I don't believe anybody has any inclination to think that something was wrong or I'm sorry?
Any of your last conversations with her?
I don't know where she is. That's all. I don't know. Like, I know we're all trying to do everything we can
This
to
nigga
find
is
her.
chatting, bro. Knock his dumb ass in the water.
I just pray that she's safe. She comes back. That's all I care about right now. Laura and I have known each other probably for 10 years now. We've,
I knock your whole ass out, nigga.
any normal relationship, just
I knock your whole ass out.
take one step at a time and you take the progress that comes with you. And been to doctor's meetings. We've been sonograms and all the prenatal care that
Nigga, hit me though.
ask and
Hit me, nigga. Hit me. Hit me though.
sorry.
Bitch ass
Montgomery
nigga.
County Police suspected Tessier's involvement early on. The statements he
Should I knock
gave
this nigga
were
in the
very
water? Yeah,
conflicting,
nigga.
And the idea of putting him in front of the cameras was to see if he would trip himself up. In doing so, several experienced people watched him as he talked. They watched his emotions and listened to see if there were any red flags thrown by Tessier. When questions were asked after Tessier spoke, the detective advised one reporter that they were still working on it as a missing persons case, that nothing at that moment indicated foul play, and they were still
Hey, you
hot
got that
on the
Porzingis cut.
investigation. This may have been a slight bending of the truth, but they did not want to give Tessier any inkling that they viewed him as a suspect. During the week that Laura had been missing, the police were busy watching Tessier. It seemed he had made several trips back to the open field, at least 10 times, near the 12,400 block of Price's Distillery Road in Damascus, Maryland, 20.8 miles from Olney, Maryland. It's about 35 miles west of Washington, D.C. This was where he had taken Laura on their adventure during Labor Day weekend. The homeowner of the property and the farm had gone on vacation for the Labor Day weekend, so no one was home. The owner was in no way involved in Laura's disappearance, so this would be the perfect opportunity, the perfect place to make someone disappear. Tessier contacted a friend for a ride to Baltimore. He told the friend he needed help to clean up a mess, but the friend refused to help him. Unbeknownst to Tessier, detectives had placed trackers on his car, and they were monitoring his movements for a while. Then, on September 13th, with search warrants in hand, detectives traveled to the property in Damascus, Maryland, and began their search. There were several acres to the property filled with woods and open fields. During their search, detectives found tire tracks that led to the back corner of one of the fields. It was 1.2 miles off the main roadway. With the help of canine cadaver dogs, a shallow grave was located. They found a purple material sticking out of the 10 by 10 foot grave, a possible match to Laura's shawl or vest that she had been wearing that fateful day. Laura had been found.
Wow.
Tyler Tessier was arrested for the murder of Laura Wallen.
Wow.
At 5:30 p.m. this afternoon, Tyler Tessier, Mrs. Wallen's boyfriend, was arrested for her murder. Since Ms. Wallen was reported missing by her family 9 days ago, we've determined that Mr. Tessier was the last person known to have been with the victim.
The Montgomery County State's Attorney's Office would also be the one to determine if Tessier would be charged with the death of the unborn
What did he do
baby.
to her?
The state attorney for Montgomery, John McCarthy, advised the court that Laura had been shot once in the back of the head with a .22 caliber rifle, with the bullet entering the brainstem. On the night before Laura was murdered,
This nigga
cell
shot
phone
her in
records
the-
show that Tessier made a call to the owner, friend of the property, where Laura would later be taken to. Tessier asked permission to access the safe where 4 .22 caliber rifles were
With
stored.
that shit, it's like you live in 1 second, then you just got shot in the back of your head, and now you just shot. Like, that shit is insane, bro.
The weapon used in Laura's murder
Wow.
was not found, and investigators could not match the bullet recovered from Laura due to the heavy damage to the projectile. Prosecutors requested that the jury be allowed to go to the property so they could see the processing slaughterhouse facility called KS Cuts. The facilities process wild game and livestock.
They say he took her out to a field next to a slaughterhouse, an animal slaughterhouse owned by a friend. He took her out to that field and promised her that they would build a new house there for their new family. But instead of the house, they say, Tyler Tessier took one of the rifles that he borrowed from the slaughterhouse and shot Laura Wallen in the back of her head. They say it was exactly as you might execute an animal.
Testimony will be admitted that the defendant knew exactly where to shoot, which would lead to Miss Wallen's death, according to the prosecutors. The defendant has executed hundreds of animals in the exact same manner in which he had executed Mrs. Wallen, prosecutors advised. Prosecutors also wanted the jury
Doesn't
to
matter,
see
he
the
shot her in the
skid
back of the
loader
fucking
that Tessier
head and
used
buried
to
her.
dig the shallow grave and bury Laura. The remoteness and inaccessibility of the area, other than by four-wheeler where the grave was, would show that Tessier was very familiar with the property. Tessier backed himself into a corner. He took the life of Laura Wallen after she attempted to make contact with another woman he was involved with. He allegedly lured Laura Wallen to the field in Damascus, Maryland with empty lies, shot her, and buried her. During the recorded interview on September 13, 2017, Tessier admitted, after his lies about what had happened, that he had gone back and shot Laura once in the head because he was concerned he had buried her alive. Tessier's lawyers tried to suppress the statement of his involvement, but it was voluntarily made, and they had to concede. Tessier had basically owned up to the murder. Sadly,
Yeah.
the horrific acts committed against Laura Wallen hit a familiar chord with many. For one, the murder of Lacey Peterson in 2002.
A California man is anxiously waiting to hear word on the mysterious Christmas Eve disappearance of his pregnant wife.
Her husband Scott quickly became a person of interest, giving this interview to ABC's Diane Sawyer.
Are you afraid police will arrest you?
No. I know there's no basis. I mean, I had nothing to do with her disappearance. So there's no possible evidence or anything like that.
But Lacey Peterson wasn't the only person who became a victim of this type of crime.
I don't even
Also
know who that
consider
is.
the Chris Watts and Susan
I know
Smith
Chris Watts,
stories.
nigga.
Howard County Public Schools said in a statement on Wednesday night, "It is with a heavy heart that we share the news that Wild Lake High School teacher Miss Laura Wallen was found deceased tonight by Montgomery County Police." After learning about the tragic outcome of Laura Wallen, the Wild Lake students made a commitment to wear black in honor of her on that following Thursday. To help the community deal with the tragic news, the Howard County Mobile Crisis Team would be at the high school on Wednesday and Thursday nights. The community was pulling together not only for its residents, but also for the students, especially the students of Laura Wallen. She had been a dedicated and
So if I
caring
know some
teacher
of
to
the kids
them.
are happy
Many
they're gonna have her
would
as a
have hard
teacher.
time
Didn't
dealing
even have a
with her
chance.
death.
Miss Wallen was there with us. She was there. I felt it.
Saquon Maxwell is just one of Laura Wallen's many former students. He joined the Wild Lake High School community tonight to mourn the death of the beloved teacher.
We'll love her forever.
The pregnant teacher was missing for a week. Her body found by police Wednesday. Her boyfriend, now a suspect and in custody. Those here are devastated.
I love Miss Wallen dearly. The three of us love Miss Wallen dearly. And it just warms my heart to know that people really reacted to the unfortunate circumstances.
She's an amazing person. She truly is one of those special teachers that touches children here before she touches them up here.
Those at Wild Lake who knew her
Hold on,
best.
what?
That touches children here before she
Oh, we couldn't see that first here. That's why I'm like, hold on, what?
touches them up here.
Those at Wild Lake who
I
knew
don't
her
know.
best, her students,
Okay.
and they were moved to tears thinking of the difference she made in their lives.
She made sure that I did what I had to do as a student, as a person, as a man.
Thank you forever. You helped me graduate high school. You motivated me. You motivated everyone else in the school.
Through hugs and tears, those that loved her tried to cope.
If we were missing or God forbid anything happened to us, she would have been the first one looking out for us.
On September 30th, 2017, Laura and her unborn son Reed were laid to rest at the Lutheran Church of St. Andrew in Silver Spring, Maryland. Over 1,000 people came to pay their respects and say goodbye. May they rest in eternal peace.
Jessica, Tyler Tessier had been in court all week long. There'd been no sign that anything was wrong. Today I was in court when the victim, Laura Wallen, her parents came inside and they met with prosecutors. They also listened as the judge dismissed the jury, saying that this was just a shocking development. Tyler Tessier was found dead in his cell this morning. Police say he committed suicide just hours before opening statements in his trial for the murder of his pregnant girlfriend, Laura Wallen, were set to begin.
On
That nigga's
September
a
the 6th, 2018, 1 year after Tyler Tessier had been charged with the murder of his pregnant girlfriend, he was found dead in his jail cell. Was the same morning that his trial was set to begin. Authorities say Tessier was found early Thursday morning in his cell, deceased. He had begun to prepare for court for the murder trial of Laura Wallen. He had awakened at 4
That
a.m.,
nigga's a
showered
bitch.
and dressed, and had breakfast at 4:45 a.m.,
I don't give a
preparing
fuck.
for court on the case.
Fuck his breakfast.
Tessier was later found hanging from a bedsheet that had been tied to the top bunk in his jail cell. The time he was found was 4:55 a.m. Tessier committed suicide within a 10-minute time frame between cell checks. He was alone in his cell and in a pod with just 15 others. Prosecutors adamantly called Tessier a psychopath and a coward. The family of Laura Wallen spoke out after Tessier was found dead in jail, criticizing him as someone who lied about everything and had never shown up for anything in the last 10 years. Wallen's brother-in-law, John Caddy, said that when he heard Tessier had committed suicide, he reminded his wife that it was his modus operandi. He had not been showing up for anything important for 10 years. Birthdays, holidays, anniversaries. He did not show up. Why would he show up today? It's like to just say that he stood up our family for the last time today. That from John Cotty.
Andre, the students at Wild Lake High School, where Laura Wallen taught, named her Teacher of the Year, the second year in a row that she received this honor. But this time her parents accepted the posthumous award for her. Mark and Gwen Wallen called it a proud moment, but one of mixed emotions, saying they miss her every day beyond description.
The event honored Laura, Teacher of the Year, at every high school. Laura's parents were in attendance to the honor. Students saw Laura as going above and beyond for them. Laura had made a difference. The Wallens have established a scholarship fund in their daughter's name to benefit college-bound students at Lake Wild High School and to honor Laura's legacy. After the murder of Laura Wallen, her parents fought to have a law passed making it easier.
Let me know what y'all think about that down below, bro. I know we're to 2,000 on my main YouTube. Let's get to this one to 100. Let's get to 10,000 on Instagram. See Daddy YT, man. I'm out this bitch. Shit's crazy. Lame ass niggas like him.